Whether it's being a lovable hero or a chivalrous man, Eijiro Kirishima will rock your world. Hello and welcome back to Quirk Analysis 101, the series where I give you a detailed rundown on the quirks in the world of My Hero Academia. In the last video, I discussed a quirk that belongs to everyone's beloved pink alien queen, Acid. In today's video, I'll be discussing a quirk that belongs to one of the most beloved characters in Class 1A. But before I begin, I have to remind you to hit that subscribe button and bell icon to keep up to date with all of the new, amazing content the Lunchtime crew is producing. Now, with the obligatory self-endorsement done, we can finally firmly plant our feet and dive headfirst into the rock-hard quirk that is Hardening. Hardening is a transformation type quirk which first appeared in chapter 13 of the My Hero manga and episode 8 of the anime. This quirk belongs to the one and only Eijiro Kirishima, who is the manly, chivalrous, lovable goof of Class 1A. The Hardening quirk grants its user the ability to harden any part of their body, not just their deku. The toughness of this quirk can protect its user from what would be fatal or detrimental hazards, such as being crushed by tons of falling metal, or even a bullet to the face. Boy, aren't we glad that robot fell on Kirishima, not someone like Invisible Girl. No one would know. The level of toughness of the Hardening quirk can also be improved by taking more and more damage over time, meaning the more Kirishima gets hit in his hardening form, the tougher he becomes. We see him training his quirk in this way during the training camp, when he gets Ojiro, aka Tail Guy, to continually attack him. This means the more combat experience someone with this quirk gets, the harder it becomes to break through their tough skin. The Hardening quirk is extremely similar to another quirk called Steel, which turns its user's entire body into hardened steel. The similarities between these two quirks has become a running joke in the series. However, there's actually a key difference between the two. Whereas Steel turns its user's body into a metal, Hardening toughens the user's skin, meaning there's potentially no limit on how durable Hardening can become. Kirishima 1, Tetsu 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 0. So what can a person do with this quirk? Well, offensively, not much. Unlike an emitter type quirk, Hardening doesn't allow its user to produce anything from their body. So when it comes to combat, it has to be a good old up close and personal fight. However, the advantage of this quirk is that it allows its user to be more reckless. Kirishima charges his enemies head first, letting his hardened body take the opposing hits as he counterattacks with hard punches and other close range moves. His punches are also very dangerous, as not only are they hardened, but his skin becomes more rugged and spiky, allowing him to easily pierce opponents. I want to see them use Kirishima as a projectile someday. Like, get Bakugo to explode a Pultum straight through a villain Dragon Fist style. God, it would solve so many problems. Unstoppable villain? Just Kira yeet him through his chest. The only other offensive move Kirishima uses is what he calls Red Gauntlet, which is essentially him running up and just punching a villain really hard. Defensively, however, is where Hardening shines. It can take bullets, it can take flames, it can take super punches, it can even take giant robots taller than 100 feet landing on it. And if this somehow isn't enough, Kirishima can use his ultimate move, Red Riot Unbreakable, in which he reaches his maximum hardness, turning his body into a monstrous form and making him practically invulnerable. On top of this, during his fight with Rappa, we see Rappa break through this form, only for Kirishima to immediately harden again and become stronger. So if you somehow manage to get past this form, you would have to act immediately to actually make any progress. Now, as you can imagine, this quirk does come with its fair share of weaknesses. For starters, it's not very versatile. So if you're a long-range fighter, all you would have to do is keep your distance, and there's nothing this quirk can do to stop you. Mobility-wise, it doesn't offer much of an advantage either. Other than using your sharpened skin to pierce and climb a wall, or to bulldoze through obstacles in your way, it doesn't offer any other benefits. On top of all this, Hardening is an entirely stamina-based quirk. The harder you get, the more stamina it takes to hold the form. For the likes of Red Riot Unbreakable, currently Kirishima can only hold it for 40 seconds, so if there ever was a battle of endurance, it would all depend on how much stamina the user has. And finally, we have the quirk's potential and awakening. He could get harder. And that's everything you need to know about the quirk Hardening. In reality, it's a very straightforward quirk, but that doesn't mean it's not useful or just as strong as any other quirk in the series. In fact, I would argue that it is one of the most important quirks in the series. But let me know what you think. Would you like to have the hardening quirk? And if you could choose to have any quirk, let me know in the comments which one it would be. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Plus Ultra!